Let's cross down to Canberra now, and the Energy Minister has seized on calls from a Labor frontbencher, Joel Fitzgibbon, for the party to match the government's climate change targets. Let's cross live now to political reporter Eliza Edwards. Eliza, these comments from Joel Fitzgibbon have exposed a divide in Labor ranks. Predictably, not everybody immediately agrees with him.
That's right, Chris. So the Shadow Resources Minister sticking to his post-election vow to speak up on climate issues after he almost lost his coal-dependent seat of Hunter at the ballot box. In a speech to the Sydney Institute tonight, he'll call on the party to revise down its emissions reduction target to meet the government's 2030 goal of 28%. He argues that the party scared and confused voters with its 45% target, and there'll be more pressure on the government if both parties agree. He'll pose the question, what would be the outcome if Labor offered a political and policy settlement to make 28% the target by 2030? The focus would then be all about outcomes, and the government would finally be held to account and forced to act. But Energy Minister Angus Taylor is using the comments to claim that Labor is admitting it got its policy wrong at the election and is calling or challenging the party to accept Mr Fitzgibbon's call.
We would love Labor to support our policies. Look, Labor went to the last election with a 45% emission reduction target, which was going to slash jobs, slash wages and slash the economy. That was their policy. They are now clearly recognising the error of their ways, but they're in chaos.
Now, while some within the Labor's right faction and some within the left faction as well agree that the 45% target is too ambitious and as the party reviews its policies after the election, but it is a politically risky calculation for Joel Fitzgibbon, as some within the left faction want Labor to continue being strong on climate action, and it also opens Labor up to attacks from the Greens that Labor isn't going to take this issue seriously.
Joel Fitzgibbon, as a factional warlord, is very powerful within the Labor Party, and he usually gets what he wants. What you've heard from Joel Fitzgibbon today is what Labor will do if it wins the next election, unless there are Greens there to hold it to account.
So, Chris, we can expect a broad spectrum of views on this, responding to Mr Fitzgibbon's speech tonight.